Me. Hello. Happy Saturday. Just checking the sound. Make sure my voice is coming in okay. Make sure you can hear me okay, that you can see me okay. I feel like I'm getting a lot better. Let me put the chat overlay up. Hello, Jennifer. Glad to see you here. I feel like I'm getting a lot better with my steps. So I look at the little audio thing and make sure that the green bar is moving. That's how you know that that's how I know my audio is coming in. I'm always double checking at the start, make sure my title is attached. So, there's definitely things I could probably like just create a checklist, but I'm just not a checklist type of person. But that's what we're going to be talking about today, which is what can you give to your audience, the thing that they actually want, they want to download, and then also where do you get the email subscribers. So I'm really excited about that. Let me know if you can. Let me know if you're alive today. If you're feeling good today, drop me an emoji. I know you can hear me. I know you can see me. I know it. So say hello. LB's here. Good morning. Happy Self-Care Saturday. Hello, the Queen Chosen One. Glad to have you here. Lisa's joining from Michigan. Yolanda is in from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, the cheese state. Ravwan is here. The only reason that I say that is because I watched Family. What was it? What was the one with the twins, the You Got It dude, and then the older brother? He always said Wisconsin, the cheese state. So I just always say that. So there you go. There's my age. Now you know it. Dana's here. Wilton is here. Hello. Danae is here from Texas. Loretta is here. Mary is here. Paula is here. Good. I got some emojis. Feeling good. Hello from Florida. Who is this? I know who this is. I can't see your face. The picture is kind of small. Plans of the Righteous. I know who that is, though. I can't see. Jennifer says, alive, don't know about feeling good yet. Well, once you get some Starbucks, maybe. I heard you trying Starbucks for the first time. So I was actually thinking about that. So after I saw you had posted that on your stories, I was like, I haven't really been to Starbucks in a while, and it's because they got rid of the only thing that I really liked, which was the sugar-free cinnamon dolce syrup. So they no longer have that syrup. They discontinued it. I guess they didn't have enough people ordering it. And I always ordered a sugar-free cinnamon dolce latte, and then my summer drink, which is the Frappuccino, has sugar-free vanilla and sugar-free cinnamon dolce. And now the only sugar-free syrup they have is vanilla. Like, ugh. Dunkin' Donuts has sugar-free syrup, so I might give them a try. And then I also learned that the Frappuccino, like what goes into making a Frappuccino, is not sugar-free. So I thought I was having a sugar-free drink, and I wasn't. It's all good. Chris is joining me from Atlanta. Paul is up the road in Powder Springs. Beautiful location. Terrence is Houston, Texas in the house. Can I teach you how to do all the things with the fancy technology? Yes. This is what I do. This is what I love. Yes, absolutely. Ruth is here. Good morning. Tacinda's here. Dr. Parker is joining. Peaches is here. Good morning. Tatia. Wow, everyone's here. Hello. Cynthia. Hey, Cynthia. I knew that was you. Jennifer says, even if it's even ready before the end of forever. Yeah, they take a little while. Okay, good. So I said hello. Everyone's here. We're ready to go. Let me do my little intro, and we can move into our next pieces and get you guys going. So once again, if this is your first time here, give me your name. Tell me where you're joining me from. What's going on? Robert, glad to have you here again. My name is LaTisha Styles. I'm a mentor for high achievers. I'm known for creating 6- and 7-figure earners. I help clients identify and dissolve the subconscious blocks, preventing them from unlocking their full potential. My clients are known for using my strategies to generate 18K in 2 weeks, 10K in 10 days, and 95K in 12 months, among other results. And that is why you're here today, right? To get on the path to getting some of those results for yourself. I broadcast every Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern. I pack a lot of value in these trainings. And as with all things valuable, there is a price. If you join me live, you can soak up all this goodness for free. After that, the training goes into our YouTube member vault, and it's available with channel members. To become one, you just go to the channel, click join. It's $2.99 a month. You can't beat it with a wooden stick. If you're outside of the US, go to latisha.tv/free, download any of my free trainings, PDFs, or guides. If you want notifications when I go live, subscribe, click the bell, get on my text message list. I believe you can create your life, but first you have to decide, because your dreams deserve your decision. And you deserve to achieve your dreams, but only if you decide to do whatever it takes to get them. So with that said, let's hop right into today's topic. Yes, yes, yes. All right, that's what we're doing. Growing your email list. Thank you for joining me, Heidi, for the second time. So nice. You had to join us twice. If I were a dad, I would have lots of corny dad jokes. My uncle is the one who does the corny dad jokes. He's always got some good ones. Dana joining us from Vegas. Need some good, I need some of that heat to flow our way. LaTisha's joining us from New Jersey. Welcome. Black coffee with local honey. I can't do it. I need some sort of syrup or something like that. What's going on? Latiwa. Beautiful. Beautiful. Thanks for joining from Atlanta. Okay, cool. So let's go into how to grow your email list. So I have a question with this topic because there's two ways that we can take it. So I know this was a highly requested topic, highly voted on, but I can either teach you, like, so we can spend the majority of today's session on what to give away, or we can spend the majority of the session on how to bring people onto your list. And obviously we'll need to touch on both of them, because you can't grow your list if you don't have anything to give away. And if you don't know where to get the people, but like, where do you feel like you need the most help? One or two. One being, what do I give away? And maybe like you have something, but nobody wants it. Or two being, I know I've got something really good, but I don't know, like, how are people growing their email list so fast? And I'm going to give you, obviously we're going to touch on both, but where do you feel like, let me put the chat overlay back up, because whenever I give a 1 or 2 vote, they come up really fast. So we'll get these going. What's going on, Cindy? Lisa's joining us from Reno. Oh, okay. Susan's in Atlanta, but just vacationing in Vegas. All right, good. Well, thanks for joining us. Wow, it's 9 a.m. Thanks for joining again. Okay, so we got one. It's going to be split. I already know. So this probably will be a part 1 and a part 2. Good. Keep voting. I'm behind in my water, so keep voting. Okay, we got a lot of 2s. Okay, good. So we'll spend like the first 10, 15 minutes talking about how to create something really good to give away, because I still feel like there's some things that I do and some things that how I teach clients where they've got, wow, that sounded really country right there when I said clients. Sometimes the Southern comes out. I grew up in Atlanta, so like sometimes the Southern comes out. Sometimes I start talking really fast, like the Northern accent comes out. I've been told that I sound like I'm from Ohio, which is, I assume, like Midwest, but sometimes I hear it. But there's things that I do when I work with clients where, we really figure out like what they need to give away, and that actually helps them to get people in. But if you've got something already and you're like, well, I don't know where the people are, that's like a big one. Okay, good. Okay, so obviously we're getting both. We're going to do both. We're going to start with 1, and then we'll spend the majority of the time on 2, and we'll get you guys going in a good spot. What's going on, LaTisha? Thanks for joining from South Jersey. Tim is joining from North Carolina. Excuse me. Okay, good. So this is content that's only ever been shared in a course. So right now, because I am limited to really only offering the path to 6 figures, and I'm not really allowed to like create other products and promote other products. And I say aloud as if someone else is telling me, like, this is what I'm doing for myself. Like, I'm focusing. My goal this year is to really focus on like the one product, get it like hammered down and nailed down in terms of what's possible. I think there's a lot more that's possible than what I've been doing. And it's also the place where I can help clients the most inside of the past 6 figures, because we cover everything from start to finish. And so like I have all these older courses that not only are no longer being updated, but are also no longer being sold. So we get to do them on these weekly live streams. And the reason that we get to do them is that this session is brought to you by the Path to Six Figures. So if you'd like more help in actually reaching your six-figure goals with your business, go to latisha.tv/wait. You'll get more information on the Path to Six Figures. You can sign up for the waiting list, and you'll get emails that tell you more about it. And that's it. That's my 5-second commercial. From the South, you do. You definitely have a Southern accent as well. What's up, Tolu? Thanks for joining. And Michelle is here. Greetings. Glad to have you here. Okay, good. So I actually have the slides up from the course where I taught this. And I think looking at the slides, it says it was last updated in 2018. So some things have changed, not a whole lot, but definitely some things have changed, which is part of the reason why I stopped selling a lot of my older courses, because I just can't keep up with all of the marketing changes every single day. Like when this came out, there was, I think TikTok was just an idea as far as people getting on it and really using it and things like that. So, some different things and different methods that I would use today. So starting with the first step, which is to actually create something good that somebody desires enough to give you their email address. Way back when the internet first started, people were excited to receive email. And I say this as someone who signed up for AOL back in the days of startup. And one of the most exciting things to hear was, "You've got mail." And I would get so excited, like, "Ooh, who did I get mail from?" So much so that I created an email newsletter. It's called Rave Corner. And this was when I was 14 years old. And our goal was to bring people onto the email list. And it was like a magazine. I always wanted to be a magazine editor. And so I created this magazine called Rave Corner. And we would go into chat forums. And that's how we would tell people about our magazine. And they would give us their email address. And we would just email it out from our personal AOL email address with a BCC. So if you guys don't know that blind carbon copy, where you put all of the bulk email addresses in the BCC line so that when the person got the email, they didn't see everybody else's email address. And I had this massive list. I forget how many people were on it, but there was a good bit of people on there, maybe 100 or so. It was a good size. I didn't know how to make money with it. Obviously, I was 14 years old. And I think the first time I decided to send out a physical copy, I told people, mail me $1, send me $1 in the mail, like a cash dollar, and you'll receive a physical copy. So, obviously we're not even thinking about expenses. So the stamp is, back then was what, 30 something, maybe 30-ish cents, 25, 30 cents. So, you got the stamp, you got the cost of printing, which I'm like, oh, it's free because my parents have a printer, right? And then, putting everything together and sending it out. And so I actually still have a copy of that magazine. I think I ended up scanning it in finally and maybe trashing it, but all the pages that I had created and put together. And so that was my very first experience with creating an email list. And so, as I was saying, way back in the day, really the only thing that you needed to get someone's email address was to let them know that you were going to send them an email. And that's what they were excited about. However, things have changed. They started to change to where first people wanted to know that they were receiving something of value, which was generally like a newsletter. It was like, hey, sign up for my list and I'll send you my newsletter. And then things got a little bit more sophisticated and people would say, hey, I'll send you this free thing. And usually it was like an ebook or might have been like a compilation of your blog post or something like that. And they said, give me your email address and I'll send you, this guided tour of my blog, basically. And then we got to where we are now, where people are like, I've got way too many emails. I don't want to be on anybody else's email list. I'm going to give you this secondary inbox email. And then I've got my main email. And so maybe you can be in my main box, but maybe you're going to be in this, what I call the side chick inbox. But people are tired of email at this point. So we're now at a point where in order for us to receive an email from someone, and a good one, not just one that they typed in so they can get to the thank you page, is we have to really give something of value. So when you're creating your lead magnet, what's called a lead magnet, it's a magnet that will attract leads for you. Sometimes I call it a freebie or a free offer. When you're creating your lead magnet, it has to be something that someone would pay for, but they're getting it for free. That's it. If you can check that box, you're good. If your lead magnet is not something that someone would pay for, you got to beef it up. Okay. So that's our rule number one. Awesome. Yay. I'm excited to have you in it, Nancy. Very, very excited to work with you. What's going on, Darnice? Thanks for joining from Philly. Cool. Good. All right. Awesome. That's a good way to get people in. Okay. We're going to talk about that in just a second. And also that goes into like where to get people, like as far as like followers and stuff. So one of the first things that we do when we're kind of researching like what to put into a lead magnet or what to figure out like how to actually create a lead magnet is we begin with the end in mind, and we start with what's our offer. And the lead magnet is a piece of the path to get to your offer. So if your offer, for example, is helping clients in their career to, go from entry level to mid level, then you might have a free offer that is a quiz, like what is your best position or something like that. Or it might be, like a personality type quiz, or it might be something like maybe you help people to do lateral jumps, right? So they were doing something in finance and now they want to do something in marketing. And so you might do something like how to restructure your resume for a lateral move, whatever it is. So those are examples of free offers that tie into your ending offer, which is to actually help them with that lateral move, for example. So if your lead magnet doesn't speak to the person that eventually wants your paid offer, it's a waste of time. You don't just want to create something just to get emails on your list. You want targeted emails. And I learned this as, over the years, I was really building my list with business owners. So people who just wanted to like make money online, who wanted to like start a business. And, I kept looking at my conversion rates when I was, making sales and making offers. And I was like, why does it seem like my list is not buying? Well, it's because I've got all of these people who are not necessarily targeted. I finally created a lead magnet and an offer that was very, very targeted to like what I ultimately wanted to help people with, and my conversion rate skyrocketed. So you've got to have an offer that ties into your free offer, has to tie into your paid offer. Okay. Good. So from there, you're like, I got my lead magnet. So like I said, we're not going to spend too much time on there. You got your lead magnet. My top 3 email list growth methods also include my top 3 most effective lead magnets. Number 1 is a webinar. So these are not in order of importance or definitely not ease of implementation, but I really like a webinar. Webinars for the fact that it gives you an opportunity to sit down, speak with your, potential or ideal clients, to teach. You can deliver a lot of value. And because it's highly valuable, it's something that is easy. That's an easy email for the training. Obviously, we want this one to be like on demand. We want them to be able to register and watch it right away. This is not necessarily the same as like a live training, even though yes, but you might get some resistance from people because they're like, well, I don't know if I'm free at that time. Is there going to be a replay? Blah, blah, blah. It's always the number one question. Is there going to be a replay? It's like nobody has time for anything anymore. So it's like, is there going to be a replay so I can not remember to watch it later? Yes, there's always going to be a replay. As you can see, I can't stand that question. So that's one of the first ones. Second one is a challenge. So something that's like a 5-day, 7-day challenge, nothing like no like 30-day challenges, 21-day, like don't do something that's so long that they're not even going to finish it. Unless you're in the fitness world, then like a 30-day plank challenge, ab challenge, things like that. Those things are free. Like overwhelmingly free, so don't use those examples. But for challenges, for the most part, I'm going to stick to 5 to 7 days. And I love doing challenges. You can do them live. You can also do them afterwards. I find that when I host a challenge, I'm able to get email addresses and people signed up like fairly quickly. Everybody loves a challenge. So I really like those. And then finally, some sort of PDF, either checklist, quiz, or like downloadable something. And I know when I say downloadable something, it could be anything, but obviously this is really going to depend on your audience, your offer, what you are good at, and what people really need. But generally for like a free offer, like a nice, like just quick downloadable thing. And in order to beef it up, to make it to that, something someone's willing to pay for, I usually like adding some sort of audio or video component to it. Okay. All right, so those are my top three top three lead magnets. Okay. What on-demand webinar tool do I recommend? I like YouTube and Vimeo. So as far as like the on-demand webinar tools, I know that there's, a lot of them where they're like, hey, register and then go watch it, like choose your time or whatever. I don't like those. The reason that I don't like those, and it could just be because I'm a marketer and I'm a little jaded by them, but like, if you want to watch something, you're going to watch it. And especially the way that I consume. So I think about sometimes like the way I consume as well. If there's a training that I want to watch, and like maybe I'm going to sit down and watch the first 30 minutes of it, and then maybe I'm going to come back and watch the remaining 30 minutes of it, even if I register for it. Like, it's very difficult to get a solid hour or 90 minutes of anybody's time these days. Like, I love the fact that you guys hang out with me all day, but I know that I see the numbers going up and down. I know some people join at this time, some people drop off. Like, I already know it. So it's like, let's just be honest with our attention spans in 2022 and realize that our audience is probably a lot smarter than we're giving them credit for. So just put the video on the page. So the way I have it is I just have the registration. The only reason I have the registration is so I can send you the follow-up emails. That's really it. And I have the registration on the page. You watch it, you can press play, you can fast forward to the end. You can watch the pitch first if you want. I really don't care, because if you want to sign up for the program, you're going to sign up. And I've never been the type of person where I'm like I want to keep something like hidden away so I can like force you to watch it. And I did do it in the past because that's how I was taught. And then I started thinking to myself, like, what do I do and what do I want to do? Like, I've gone so far as to like screen record, walk away so I can come back and fast forward and do what I want to do. So think about the person you want to work with and how you want their experience to be. So with that in mind, I don't do or recommend or use on-demand webinar programs, with the exception of YouTube and Vimeo. I upload the video and I let people press play, fast forward, rewind, whatever they want to do. Okay. Yay. Good, good, good. Super excited. If you hosted a webinar on YouTube as private, where you send them a link, would they work? No. If you save the YouTube video as private, it's only visible to you. If you save it as unlisted, then yes, you can send them the link and then that would work. So if I do have, so that's generally how I do it. If I'm going to upload it to YouTube, I'll set it as unlisted and then I'll embed it in the watch page, or, just send it to them and give it to them that way. Okay. Okay, sorry. Let me go back to your previous. I gave away a 30-minute consultation. I used the webinar idea and was able to add a few names. Good. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. What's going on, King? It's the King. 2 hours is not too long. That's a similar question to like, how long should a book be? It just needs to be long enough for you to get your point across, and also short enough at the same time so that you don't lose anyone. Generally, my goal is to keep the content around that 25 to 30 minute mark. And then the pitch is around that, like, another 20, 30 minutes. And then after that, it's usually just like Q&A. So I think my, the Path to Six Figures webinar right now is like 90 minutes long, but the last 30 minutes, I'm literally just answering questions. And like I said, you can 1X it. You can, even on the video, the video where you prepare to watch it, I say like, hey, it's on the page. Play me in 2x speed if you want. I don't care. Because my goal is for not only for you to see how I do things with my business, but also to show you that like there are no rules, and everything that other people have been telling you is because it's worked for them, but you don't know what works for you yet. So like you start with a framework and then you just say like, maybe I don't really like doing that. And then you do a different way. Okay, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Okay, good. You're very welcome. All right, so let's talk about the actual list growth methods. So I'm going to run these down very, very quickly. And these are going to be, there's only 2 traffic methods, organic and paid. That's it. So 2 traffic methods, organic and paid. So anytime somebody tells you about a way to get traffic, they're either talking about an organic method or a paid method. A paid method is where we're using something like Facebook ads, Google ads. We're putting an ad on, purchasing an influencer, some real estate on an influencer's page, or running an ad on a blog, on TV, whatever it is. Like that's paid. That's a paid traffic method. An organic method would be like following, commenting, DMing people, doing live streams, telling people to join you, emailing your existing list. That's also an organic way to like grow something, even though they're already on your list, but still like that's the difference. So that's organic. Excuse me. Okay, before I go to the comments, because otherwise I won't be able to finish this, and I'll come back to the questions in a little bit. So my number one way that I like to get traffic is I do like to pay for traffic, and I'm currently using Facebook ads. I started testing TikTok ads. I just created my first campaign yesterday, so we'll see how that goes. The process was it was okay. I don't really like speaking negatively about anything, but it was definitely an ordeal. It took me like 2 days to even figure out the pixel. So if that turns out to be something that's easy and straightforward that I can share, we'll be sharing that in the Path to 6 Figures on our monthly ads mastermind call. So super excited about that. So I like using Facebook ads. I create an ad. It runs on Facebook. It runs on Instagram. It is predictable. It is something where I know like this is how many emails I'm going to get month in, month out. This is how many sales I'm going to make month in, month out. And so it creates more stability and predictability for my business. So I prefer to pay for traffic. It's very high risk for me right now though, because I'm only using Facebook as a traffic source. And we all know what's happening with Facebook right now. It's dying a slow death. So I'm like, that's why I'm looking at TikTok ads, and I've done YouTube ads in the past, and I still working on it. Pray for me. So that's my number one way. So that's my number one list growth method. And so we'll dive deeper into that and talk about that in a second. My second way and list growth method that I like is getting like basically a shout out or a recommendation from someone else who has an email list. So this, I did this a couple of times with a friend of mine who she has a large list of people who are interested in making money and want to learn different things. Some of them were interested in learning coaching. So she put my lead magnet in her email that went out, and a bunch of people signed up for it. So that's my second way, is to match the medium. So if you want email list subscribers, you should find where people are already subscribing to an email list. So that's my second top way to grow an email list. And then my third way is organic method, which is just to literally put it everywhere. So put the link in your bio, put the link in your footer of your normal emails. Like when you send an email to somebody, like put a link down there. Now, obviously, if you're at work, you don't want to put your business thing in there, but like your personal email address and you're emailing someone and you have like a lead magnet there, you never know. Also, like when I used to go to networking events, I would send like a follow-up email that said, "Hey, nice to meet you." And then at the bottom, there would be the little link to my lead magnet. So obviously the lead magnet needs to be very clear who it's speaking to so that you don't get random people that are like, "Oh, I just want to be nice and sign up." No, like you want to be very specific. I'm specifically looking for this type of person. This is exactly what you need if you are this person. And that obviously has a lot to do with like your landing page that people go to and then actual lead magnet, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. All right. So let's start breaking that down because I see we got a lot of good questions already for like the budget. Tatia, the $2.99 a month is for the YouTube channel membership. So if you join this YouTube channel, you get access to not only this live stream after it expires for free, but you get access to like a bunch of hidden live streams. So if you want to watch last week's live stream, for example, it's in there. And so each week I add a new one for $3 a month. That's like less than $1 a week. So I just don't make me do the math. I just did the math like, maybe I should bump that up, but I don't have a plan to bump that up. It's really just so I can encourage you guys here to show up live, to interact and get all this goodness. Cause I like teaching with students. I don't want to just be here talking to myself. So, all right. Trying to think of a really good lead magnet is my challenge. So, you don't have to think of a good lead magnet. You just have to know where to search so you can figure out what people already want, because there's things that people already want in your audience. And so start thinking about like, what are the things that maybe they're already paying for that you could offer for free? What timeline or metrics do you use to decide if the lead magnet tools are worth tweaking and testing? So as far as my lead magnet, the main thing I'm looking at is the landing page conversion rate, and I'm looking for a 30% conversion rate. So if I get 100 visitors to the page, I want 30 people to sign up. If I get 10 people to sign up, that means that the page is not, something's wrong with it. How do you prevent a paying customer from sharing a link to the product they bought? I don't have a way to do that. So I focus on the people who do the right thing, and the people who don't, I let karma work out everything else. What's going on, Queen? Super excited. Glad to have you here. Okay, good. Yes, please pray for Facebook too. It is dying a slow death. Awesome. Okay, good. So as far as getting started with your ad campaigns, I like to do a budget of around $10 to $12 a day. So that's like $300 a month. And what that's going to do, so let me back up first. So we're breaking down method number one, which is paid traffic. And like I said, I use Facebook ads. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to set aside I want to set aside around $1,000. Like this is like in my mind, right? I'm budgeting $1,000. This is my budget that is just going. It's gone. This is my testing budget. And I'll say I spent a lot of money figuring out ads, testing ads, and I essentially spent it to the school of hard knocks because I didn't know how to do ads. I went to the Facebook Blueprint course and I couldn't really, I learned a little bit from there, but that course is like very, very high level. It's like going to college and learning Facebook ads. Really, the best way that you learn it is by just getting in the trenches and spending some of your own money. But I will say, one of the things that I discovered and what I realized is that once you get an email list, your ads become cheaper and cheaper and cheaper as your list grows. So therefore, growing your list is your first goal because, and you're gonna have to spend some money to get that started. But once you get that started, then you just like upload your existing email list and they're like, oh yeah, we see these people are Facebook users. We can find people that are just like them. And then they help find more people. So honestly, the first kind of round, you're going to be spending some money. So I'll start with like, all right, I got $1,000 in mind. I'm going to spend $100 on my first test. So the first test is going to be $100 and that's going to be a lifetime budget. Okay. So not a daily budget, but just a lifetime budget. I'm going to run it for 3 to 4 days. So that's around $20 to $25 on average per day it's going to spend. And my goal is to see if people are just going to sign up. And so I don't do any like specialized targeting or try to figure out like what the interests are. I'm going to send it. I'm going to send the ad to people who like my page and their friends. If you don't have any followers on your page or your Instagram account, like, people who are following your Instagram account or any followers on your page, then there's your first starting point. So, don't spend the $100 yet, because it's going to cost you a lot more. If you haven't figured out your audience, Facebook doesn't know. So that means that you're going to be spending money to try to get them to figure it out. You're going to spend a lot of money. So you have to figure out your audience, and you have to start gaining some traction first. So that means you got to put in a little bit of work first, start building up a little bit of an audience. If, let's say, for example, the majority of your audience is on YouTube and they're not, meaning that you have a YouTube following, people watch your YouTube videos, not like people who would be your audience are watching YouTube videos. We already know that everybody's on YouTube. But what I mean is, like, you already have like YouTube subscribers and following, then just create a little video and tell them to come find you on Facebook and follow you on Instagram. That's it. Okay. So bring your audience over there. So that's your very first thing. So I set that $100 budget, and then I'm going to send people over to my landing page. You want to make sure your landing page loads fast, that it's mobile friendly, and that it has a privacy policy. So if you can't check those 3 things off, you shouldn't run ads. The slower your page is, the worse it's going to be. So if you go to gtmetrics.com, you can put the link into your landing page, and it'll give you a grade. So it'll tell you how fast or slow, and it'll also tell you what to fix. If you don't understand it and you need help, go to Fiverr, hire somebody, be a business owner and do the things you need to do in order to get to where you need to get. Okay. So, so that's the first step. So after I do that $100 test, then I'm going to look and see, okay, what happened with that $100? How many people did I reach? How many email addresses did I get? What was the average cost per email address? If my average cost per email address was under $10 or under, then I'm like, all right, great. I'm good to go on the cost. If my lead magnet and my page converted anywhere from 20% plus, I'm like, okay, I'm good to go. That means all I need to do is like maybe tweak a couple of things, but it wasn't a terrible page. So then from there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a upsell on the thank you page. And what this looks like is just like basically like a low ticket offer, something that's like, 10 to 20 bucks. And we have a whole process that we do in module 11 inside of the Path to Six Figures. So obviously I can't teach the whole thing in like 5 minutes because it takes a long time, but I'm going to explain the basics of it, which is, you create the low ticket offer. You have the low ticket offer on the page. You put a countdown timer on that page to let people know they've got about 30 minutes to make the decision. And what that does for you is it allows you to recoup some of your ad spend so that you're not just putting money out there without getting money back. It doesn't work with every audience. If you have an audience that is where you're doing like done for you services, doesn't make sense to step over those dollars to pick up these pennies. And your goal is to just really optimize getting people on the phone. But if you sell a course or coaching, then this would work fine for you. So once I do that, then I'm going to run the ad again. And then that's when I'll go in with my $10 to $12 a day budget. So about $300 a month. Then I'm just going to kind of let that run, keep an ate on it, make sure that the number that I got before, as far as how much it cost me per email, is still about the same. So under $10, you should be getting like at least one subscriber every day. And then I want to wait to see until that first purchase is made. Once the first purchase is made, I want to see how much did it cost me to get that first purchase. And then now I know, okay, on average, it's going to cost me this much to get a purchase. And this many people are going to have subscribed at that point. So then I start playing with the numbers. And then the other thing that I do as well is I'll start looking at how can I improve on the page? Can I make it faster? Can I maybe change a color? Can I change some wording? And like, what are people saying in the under the ad as far as comments? Like, what can I say on there to basically improve the conversion rate? Like, what are some things that I can do to fix it? And I'm doing that, and I'm changing one thing at a time so that I can see what the results are and then go back. This whole process, I understand that I'm kind of speeding through, like explaining it. It is pretty involved in terms of what's required to actually get this going. I would say if you consider yourself an analytical person and you can look at numbers and read a story, right? Analytical meaning you can look at numbers and understand a story of what the numbers are telling you, you're going to be fine. If you're not necessarily an analytical person, if you're more so of a if you're not analytical, I don't know what the other personality type would be, and you like look at numbers and they just scare you, or you're like, well, I don't know what these are saying, it doesn't make any sense, or if you go do like stuff based on emotion, it's probably going to be a little bit difficult for you. I would say running Facebook ads and running ads is similar to like being a day trader, in the sense of you have to pull your emotion out of it to be successful, because they're just numbers. Okay, good. Let me go to our comments to make sure. How do you search if you want to pitch decision makers at companies? Sorry, my voice is starting to go. If you want to pitch decision makers at companies, then a decision maker doesn't want to make the wrong decision. How can you help them make the right decision? So, what questions are they asking so that they can make that decision? That's where your lead magnet needs to hang out. Okay. Based on what I do, getting HR talent development decision makers intrigued, how I help mid-level professionals. Yeah. So therefore, when they're trying to make that decision, what questions are they asking themselves? What do they need to know before they make that decision? And this is for all of you guys. So when you want to make a sale, essentially what you want to do is you want to help someone decide to purchase. And so with that decision, there are all sorts of questions that come in, like, is this right for me? What's going to happen when I buy? Has anybody else had success? Like, there's all these questions. So your marketing is all about answering those questions. That's why I say, and I've said in the past, that marketing is 80% and sales is like just that last 20%. Because if you can help someone come to the conclusions that they need to come to and make what they feel like is a solid decision with the right information, it's going to make the sale easy. And then at that point, they're like, oh, I understand it. I know this is what I need because I've evaluated and I've made that decision. So anytime we're trying to sell, we're always trying to get to a decision maker. So in order to get to a decision maker, we need to understand how they come to their decision. How do they come to their decision? What questions are they asking? Who else is a part of the decision? So if a lot of times people say, I want to get to the decision maker, especially in the type of field that you're in, Ruth, like, I want to get to the decision maker, but they have other people that are actually helping them to decide. So maybe it's not necessarily the decision maker that you want to get to. Maybe it's the person that's helping do the research and bringing the information to the decision maker so that they can decide. So now we got to figure out, okay, maybe we need to educate this person who is the pre-decision maker, right? Because they're actually the ones that's bringing the solutions up the ladder. A feeler and intuitive versus analytical. Yeah, I would say that's probably about right. I think I'm both though. So maybe it's not an either or, because I feel like I'm pretty intuitive and I'm definitely a feeler. I think I'm INTJ. So maybe I'm more a thinker. So maybe I am more analytical. Okay. What platform / technology do you use to design the landing page and navigation of customers to buy? I use a proprietary software that we have designed here at You've Got Clients called the You've Got Clients dashboard. You can use any number of things. A lot of my landing pages are also built on WordPress, so they're directly built into my website. You can use any like landing page builder. You can also use Like you can also just create a landing page inside of Facebook. They give you the ability to do that. So don't get bogged down in the details of that. Just know that you need a landing page. Okay, so that's essentially my process for Facebook for running ads. Obviously, you do need to make sure you got your pixel installed, et cetera, et cetera. But you know, a lot of times the main thing that people get tripped up on when it comes to ads is targeting, because they're like, well, I don't know who to target. So I'm going to show you one of the easiest ways to figure out your targeting. Does that sound like a plan, Stan, the man? I wasn't planning on doing this, so I don't have it pulled up. So just give me a second. It's loading. It's loading. It's loading. It's loading. What technology do you use? Like what you're using today? So I'm using Restream right now. Restream.io. And this allows me to stream to YouTube and Facebook simultaneously. There it is, Restream.io. Okay, still says it's loading. So let me just refresh it so it will actually load. All right, so let me just talk through it, because obviously it's told you it's dying a slow death. It's like Facebook is it's on the outs. You're welcome. So the first thing that I do is I think about what is the main page that my audience is likely to follow, and not just like what they're following in their leisure time or in general. Like I know in general, like a lot of my audience, you know, is likely to be following Beyonce, for example. But like that doesn't tell me that they are a coach. Like what pages would tell you that someone is specifically in your audience? Okay, and this is like not loading at all. Oh, there it is. Okay. So what pages would tell you that this person is in your audience? So that's the first thing that I do. Okay. Next thing that I do is I'm going to come here to, let's find it. Ads Manager. Sorry, I got to find the specific tab, the specific Chrome tab. Here it is. Yeah. Okay. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to come into Ads Manager, and I'm going to narrow down by the location. So obviously, if you're in the US and you want US based clients, but you can also add other locations as well. So let's say that maybe you have an audience in Canada. Okay. So you can add Canada also if you want. Okay. Mexico. You don't have to change languages either. There's a lot of people who speak English in other countries, meaning you don't have to change the language of your content. So choose your locations. Okay. And then I'm going to also narrow down by age. So I know I don't work with 18-year-olds. In general, my audience is around 30 plus. I don't usually cap it. Like, I don't mind older people, 65 plus, 70. There's a lot of older people on Facebook. I don't really care. So I don't generally cap it here. That's not that big of a deal to me. And then gender. As a reminder, this is only for what people have self-selected. So some people do not choose a gender. So they might not choose men. They might not choose women. So this is only as good as the information that Facebook actually has. Okay. But let me show you the easiest thing to do. Okay. You're just going to find that one page. So what's that one page that you know that your audience is likely following that tells you that they are your audience? So for example, if you're helping clients with personal finance, you know, in general, that people who are interested in personal finance are probably following something that's money related, right? And so obviously we're not going to go to like Cash Money, Young Money. That's not what we're doing. But maybe Mr. Money Mustache. Like if you're in the personal finance industry, then you know that this is a very, very specific page right here. But also you might look for, where's that Money magazine? Okay, magazines, Money magazines, I need here. What about like Susie Orman? This is very specific too. So this is all I'm going to do first. Okay, let's assume you're doing something relationship related. Who's that relationship guy? Paul, was it like Paul Brunson or something? Okay, let's do Lisa Nichols. So let's assume that you're like, okay, I want to work with people who are interested in healing childhood trauma, right? So this is probably like one good page. Okay. So what you'll do, okay, we have finance. So let's go back to finance. Let's go back to Susie Orman. Okay. So what you'll do is as soon as you add that one, you literally just click the suggestions thing right here. See where it says suggestions right here? I don't know why the mouse is not looking like it's on top of it. Probably because I scrolled. Here we go. Suggestions. As soon as you click suggestions, Facebook is going to say, here are all the pages that are similar to what you just typed in. Now it's up to you to decide what's actually similar. Okay. And so maybe the word budget is like, yeah, kind of, but that's not an individual. Susie Orman is an individual. So I would go through and I would start choosing individuals. So let's say you want to go more towards the investing side. Okay. So obviously we would want Warren Buffett over Dave Ramsey. We would want maybe, I don't know, what other investing, you would just start finding investing related people here versus people who might not be, investing related. So that's it. And you just choose, start choosing. What's going to happen is they're going to give you your estimated audience size and you want like, a couple million, 1 million, 2 million or whatnot. And they're going to tell you exactly what your audience details are. And then that's it. You can, choose people who currently like or follow your page or similar to those two, but you don't need to do any of that. Like that's one of the easiest ways to figure out who else should be in your audience and what pages you should target. Like just choose a page. I need to get my hair trimmed. Just choose a page and then choose similar pages. That's it. Okay. Okay, good. So Jennifer says, if I wanted to target podcasters and aspiring podcasters, I could use Facebook pages and groups for the podcasting platforms. Exactly. So your podcasting platforms are what? Like when people, the first thing I would do, like if I didn't know, if I was doing this for a client, I would literally just type podcast. And then I would think about these. Okay, people who listen to serial podcasts are not necessarily podcasters, but maybe there's a podcast in here that is specific to podcasters. What about podcast movement? Can't target that, even though it's a conference. But I would just start doing that, and then maybe they have like a Blue Yeti mic. So I would look for like Blue Yeti. So yeah, I would start looking at Facebook pages, start searching for what are the content, what things do podcasters have. A lot of podcasters probably follow Pat Flynn, so can't target him. So you just have to start thinking it through, like what are podcasters listening to? What are they following? And therefore, how can I get into and start targeting them? Okay. So unfortunately, I'm not as familiar with like podcast stuff, so I couldn't think of anything there. But okay, good. So that was for, let me just, before we wrap things up and I start going to the questions. That's for Facebook. So for the second one where I mentioned getting other people to email for you, start making connections. If you don't have connections already, connect to people and then say, hey, I've got this free thing. Would you mind emailing your list about my free offer? Like there's nothing like it's not detrimental to them, like to just put it in their email to send it over. Obviously, if you have an affiliate program or something like that, but people don't always need something. Sometimes people like doing stuff just because they want to do it. So just ask. Okay. And then the final thing that I said was just organic. That's easy. A lot of you guys are doing that already. Like put your links everywhere, put the link to your lead magnet everywhere. Okay. Who do I suggest for branding products? Canva. I'm not sure about the question. Like an individual that can help with branding. I don't know that I have a recommendation for that. All right. As a new coach that doesn't have followers, I should not run ads yet. I can't tell Facebook who to target. Yeah. So the first thing that I would recommend that you do is first get the pixel and put it on your website, because that's going to tell Facebook who is coming to your website, the types of people who are coming to your website. As long as they don't have iOS, as long as they haven't opted out of tracking. And then from there, I would start like, okay, let's try to get at least, 100 people. Like you got to start building somehow. So are you a member of like Facebook groups? Like, how are you going to basically get those first true fans? When we first started out trying to like grow our audiences back before, like, all of these other secondary platforms, there really was only Facebook. The goal was always, let's get 1,000 people on our Facebook page. And people have moved away from that because they realize that Facebook is not sending their information out, like, they limit the view of posts and all that, and that's understandable. But if you are going to choose a platform, like, your goal is to, like, let's get 1,000 true fans on that platform. And it's not as difficult as you might think, because it comes down to, like, are you providing value? If you're providing value, then people will come in and follow you. Okay, you're very welcome. Yeah, the Blue Yeti is money. That's mine right here. You can see it's not blue, for those of you who are wondering. I don't know why I can't get it in the camera shot. There we go. So there's my Blue Yeti. I actually won this in a affiliate competition a couple years ago, so it was free. Okay, good. Hey, Courtney. So that is it. That's what I have for today as far as building and growing your list. When I launched my first, one of my first courses, my group program, I remember thinking, like, why don't I have that many people that are signing up? And I started just doing research, and I realized that your email list is a very good indicator of your financial success in your business. And not just your email list, but how many, who's opening it, actually opening it, reading it, and responding. And so I went on this like quest to figure out, like, how can I grow my email list? Because I was told that on average, you can expect to earn about $1 per month per email subscriber. So if you have 1,000 email subscribers, you'll be earning about $1,000 per month in your business, and so on and so forth. So, when I launched my first course, I was like, oh, only got like I think it was like 4 people signed up, 3 or 4 people, but my email list was small. It had like maybe a couple hundred people on my email list. And it wasn't even there were people who came from like other email lists who were kind of like just getting to know me. So your first goal is like, let's get those 1,000 true fans. Like, let's get out there and provide value. Maybe it's, you like doing live streams, and so you're going to be doing a live stream every day, teaching something small. You don't have to stay on for an hour, but like, build an audience, start providing value. And that's how that's ultimately the way that you'll be able to really grow your list. Okay, good. Facebook ads can get complicated. Yes, you are very welcome. Okay, good. Yeah, Facebook ad, I have a love dislike. I don't like to say I hate anything, because I never want to give anything that much energy, but I have a love dislike relationship with Facebook. Unfortunately, our time is up, so we can't talk about the rest of the marketing, like websites, cards, and all those other things. But we'll save it for another topic. We'll save it another one for another day. Okay, perfect. There we go. Robert, no, that's absolutely. Robert does branding. His company does branding for websites and cards. So reach out, Queen, reach out to Robert. It's absolutely fine. It's always okay to promote. And it's okay. I feel like I have to say this. All right. It is absolutely okay to like ask. The worst thing that can happen is someone says no. So it's absolutely fine. I don't have a problem with it. As long as I'm not required to recommend anyone that I haven't worked with, absolutely fine. But yeah, lots of good things come out of this good energy that we're putting out there right now. All right. Good. All right. So thank you so much for joining me today. Once again, this live stream will stay up for another couple of hours if you want to come back to it and watch the replay, and then it will go into our members only vault. If you go to youtube.com/LaTisha Styles, click join, not subscribe. Subscribe is, you're just a subscriber. It's free to subscribe. But if you click join, you'll go through the whole YouTube payment process. It's $2.99 per month. You sign up, stay as long as you'd like, and you get access, and you can binge watch if you want all the old live streams. And I've got something new coming for channel subscribers, which is some of these older programs and courses and other videos and trainings and recordings and things that I've done. I'm just going to start uploading them into the channel membership. So you're going to have like just a crap ton of content in there. And that's coming soon. So be prepared, be ready. And super excited to have you guys here today. You are very welcome. Yes. Well, I will consider that. I will consider that because I enjoy working with you guys, and definitely would love to have a mastermind. I know someone else has suggested that as well. So thanks so much for joining me. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week, and I will see you guys in the next one. Okay. Bye.